Welcome to Tales of Hope, where every paw print counts. Animal tie in the house, spreading love, hear the sounds. Every week animal stories, rights and welfare in the mix. Step up, take action, we're giving animals a fix. Tales of Hope, raise your voice, make some noise. Change the game for every animal, girl and boy. One world, one fight, let's turn the page. A future for the voiceless, bring hope to center stage.
A very good morning and good evening and good afternoon to everybody wherever you're across in the world. Today we have a very interesting person, Stuart Tan from Trap Neuter Release and Manage, which is run in Malaysia. Stuart, thank you very much for taking the time out to be on this podcast. And I'm sure it's 1 a.m. in the morning, so let people know that we're all working hard towards it.
It's my pleasure to be here. Right.
Okay. Stuart, can I understand from you what inspired the birth of TNRM, what you use as a short acronym for your initiative, and what was the first community you served?
Right. It all started when I said we, me and my partner, we started volunteering ourselves at a local NGO, a rescue NGO, and because they deal with rescue work, and we would see that they spend a lot of money in their medicals and stuff, and because rescuing is endless. You can rescue an animal and then you spend tons of money and tons of time taking care of them, and then trying to nurse them back to health, and this takes time, and it is not what I say fun as far as fun is concerned, is not sustainable in the long run.
Yes.
So because when I solve a problem, I always try to get to the root cause of it, and tackle it from there. So neutering is the solution to all this. Once neutered, you don't have any newborns, and then there's no need to rescue, no need to, we solve the problem by the root. Yeah.
Absolutely. What you rightly said, if you neuter the furry babies, you not only help them with their population, but you also help them with their lifespan, from what I understand, because with the kind of people I've been talking to, the vets and everybody, and they've all been of the same point of view. If you neuter the baby or neuter these kids, you are all...
And we are also talking about reducing their sufferings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's such a noble job, not everybody understands it, from what I understand. Now, how do you navigate the initial resistance or lack of awareness from local communities or authorities?
Right. This is a difficult part, where education come into play. That is the utmost important thing when to change people's mindset is a difficult task. It's time consuming, So we have to tackle that part of people's belief. It's not an easy thing. So how do we do that is we would find out what are their beliefs, what are the resistance from them, in terms of cultural belief, that may become a hindrance to our work. So we're trying to print out flyers,
right,
and to distribute them around. And of course, in the beginning, we try to approach the authorities to suggest to them to implement TNR as well. But of course, that's not an easy task. From their side, they would ask for statistics and what are the proof that TNR actually works. So we need to present all that. And of course, in the beginning, we didn't really know how to go about it. You know, we didn't have much like data or statistics to show them that it really works. Only after we have done this work, then we can show them that. Yeah.
So, can I understand how long has TNR been in what you've been doing so far?
TNRM, Malaysia has been around for like 13 years. Actually, 13 years this August 12th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like 4 days away.
Yeah, that's our 13th anniversary. And it has come a long way. I would say that this is not a work for the faint-hearted, and it really requires a lot of commitment and most of all, I think, passions.
Yes.
Yeah.
You truly said it is more of passion that drives the commitment towards these voiceless souls, what you're doing. It's very true. Now, moving forward, what does management in TNRM mean beyond just neutering, and why is it often overlooked?
Right. Management means that like after neutering, we take care of the animals, by the feeders. As you may know, that we work with feeders, to catch the dogs or the cats for neutering. And like management means after the post neutering works and like monitoring the colony and also feeding them on a daily basis, and also if there are any new animals that come into the colony, community, then we'll have to get them neutered, and if let's say there's any animals that fall sick, then we'll have to get them, for treatment. So this is all part of the management of in TNR. And how normally it is overlooked is because to most people or feeders, they will think that after neutering, that's the end of it. That's the end of it, so they don't have to do all that I have named just now. And also the authority would think that this is neutering is what they targeted on. Then after neutering, like management stuff, it's more like they leave it onto the individuals to take care of them. So there is no like a good system of coordinations between this individual or from the authorities. So that's how these small things are normally overlooked by
most of the people. Yes, what you rightly said, because I think even we have the same issue out here in India even. The last part which you mentioned, the management or taking care post-neutering surgery or the post-sterilization is also very important, and which I think a lot of the people that I've been even talking to is overlooked most of the time. But some of them, yes, they know. They go down into the detail and make sure that everything is done perfectly. But I guess, that's what it is. Now, walk us through a typical day in field for your team during a TNR operation.
Right. As mentioned, we work with feeders. Right. It is very important part of working with feeders because there are few reasons why we do that. Is because feeders would know that what are the time that this strays would come around, and because that's when they'll get food, so they know what time they would appear. And also the feeders know about the health conditions of these animals, and because we only send like healthy animals for neutering. So if let's say the night before when they feed it, or the day before that they were feeding them and the animal don't seem to be interested in the food, so then we would sort of know that something is wrong, with this particular dog or cat. And also because the animals know the feeder, All right. So when during feeding time, these strays will come closer to the feeder. So that makes the trapping process easier. Because if we were to just approach the stray animals, although they may be friendly, but because we are stranger to them, they would run away. Maybe within 10 feet, of us approaching it. Yeah.
On this, I'm going to just take it a bit further with you, because I remember seeing one of the.
Sorry, I just now I was thinking that the second part of this is the thing that I'm supposed to answer.
Please.
You were asking me about how is it on a particular day of our trapping mission.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I explained why we work with feeders just now. And then we would make an appointment with the feeders. Depending on what time is the feeding time. So we would go there based on the time. And when we go there, we set up the trap. Usually what we do is that we have a few trapping methods.
Okay.
But then for the most effective ones is what we call we're setting up some kind of an enclosure by using portable fences. So we would set it up, and then the feeder would then lure them with food inside, putting it inside the enclosure so the stray would enter. So once they enter, we would close the enclosure door, and then we would corner them inside the enclosure. This is by far the most effective method out of all, because we managed to catch more than one dog or cat with this method. But if we are using like a conventional trap, or maybe platform or semi-automatic, it can only target one dog or one cat at a time. Yeah.
No, that's where I was coming to, because I saw one of the videos on social media, the way the way you all executed the trapping, and I got very, very impressed with it, because it's the most humane way of trapping a dog or a cat. Because I think we need to, from my Indian perspective, I see we need to train our people as well. That's the reason I'm trying to reach out to people and see how everybody else also works. And that is really, really what impressed me of the way y'all were trapping the dogs.
And funnily, how this concept or this method of trapping was born, it was that like in the earlier days, in cases where feeders feed the stray in front of their gates, and what we would do is that we would encourage them to lure them inside their compound.
Okay.
And then we would close the gate. So after we know of this method, then I was thinking, isn't it good if we could shift this compound, to outside wherever that we want, like a portable enclosure. So, and then during that time, we have a welder, who is working for us at that time. And I thought, we could make use of it by asking him to weld these fences for us. So that's how this method came about.
But it was very impressive, I'll tell you, because the most important thing that caught my eye was the humane way of trapping them. Because in India, what we do is, you have these nets, and sometimes the people who handle them also are not properly equipped or trained. To trap them. So that really got me going. It was really, really impressive. I think even when I would love if you could share with us some of the videos, so when I release the podcast, I can put it across for people to see, or for people to see how it can be done in a more humane manner.
Right. That's for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, we would love that. Now, how do you identify, track, and prioritize which colonies or neighborhoods to target?
Okay, like I mentioned before, because we work with feeders,
Feeders,
you
right?
know. So of course, it would be very optimal if, let's say, we could like target any colony that we want, you know, because we would start with one area and also the neighboring areas, and there's a reason for that, because if we neuter one colony and the neighboring colony, we can more or less ensure that the success rate of TNR, you know. But because we have to work with feeders, you know, they may be from different places, you know. So right now, this is what's happening. You know, we can't really choose the places unless the people from the area or the feeder from the area contact us.
That reaches out to you. Okay,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Now, what's your process for ensuring post-operative care, especially in high-risk or remote areas?
Okay, in this process, I mean, to be frank, right now we are concentrating on urban area and its surrounding, not really out to the more rural or remote area. And because the reason why is because, you know, targeting on in urban area on, I mean, more people are more educated in urban area, right? So they are readily like more receptive towards TNR. You know, even so, we like you said just now earlier, we still face challenges. You know, in terms of awareness. You know, people they're still not accepting TNR as it is because they want quick solutions. You know, like just get rid of them. So in urban area, of course, panel clinics. Our panel clinics play a big part in this. You know, the post care, operative care, because they would be the one that the post op will be done in the clinic itself. You know, so we don't do that. Now, reason is because when the post op is being done at the clinic, so they are under observations by the vets. So they ensure that the wounds heals well, and they are ready to be released. So this is all done in the panel clinic. Yeah.
I understand, just for a viewer's purpose, how many days do you normally keep a cat or a dog for a post-op in a panel clinic after the surgery is done, before he's released?
Right. For us, you know, at TNRM, our protocol is we make it 7 days.
Okay.
Now, some people around the world, when you know, who are into this work, they may say that 7 days is too long, you know, and it is not so cost effective. Right?
Yes.
And I would say this. I said we wouldn't just want to save a few bucks, you know, and put the animal's life at risk.
True.
You know, and so that's why we make it 7 days. And of course, cost is another thing. You know, when it comes to how many days we should, you know, do the post-op. But still, like I said, money versus life is, you know, still we would choose life. You know, we wouldn't want to risk it.
Alama, you have to make the difficult decision, isn't it?
Yes, sometimes, because donations don't come that easy, really.
No, you've just rightly mentioned it. It's not easy, especially when it comes to these voiceless souls. I know how difficult it's. I don't think it's only in Malaysia, but I think even in India and the kind of people I'm talking to in Europe, it's not very easy to get funds when it comes to especially for these voiceless souls.
Yeah, but for human, you know what? You do know that for even like corporate companies, they do set aside funds for doing charity, but human charity, not animal charity.
Yes, I know. You know, that is what I have been, my next goal, or probably that's what I've been talking to a lot of people is getting, because most of the corporates have the CSR budgets.
Yeah.
And it's always been more towards human oriented, because most of them have this thing that let's do it for humans, especially if it's blind and all that. But I'm trying to figure out a way where we can get them, not lure them, but is find a common ground where it's also done for these animals. Because even I be- not I believe, because I've been the kind of people I've been talking to, they all have this. They're all sentient beings, and they all need to be given the respect, that we
Right.
all get. So yes, that is something I know. It's a long and very tall order to ask, but I'm sure we need to. Some of us, we need to do that as well.
But I always believe that, as long as we do this thing sincerely, I mean,
Yes.
God will pave the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. You just
Somehow this money will just come in, when we need it, the most. I believe, this is all His work too. That this is what he would do when people do this wholeheartedly.
you've just rightly said. I don't know how much you believe in God, but with what you've said, I think that made me realize that yes, we people who believe strongly in God and have faith, they know He's going to be there no matter what. And what you rightly said, when you do it with sincerity, it automatically transpires the universe to help you even for that.
Right.
Yep. Now, moving forward, what are the top 3 myths or misunderstanding people have about TNR?
Okay, this is I would say, like, myth number 1. People would think that TNR wouldn't work. They would just think that if strays will just attract more strays. So that's what they believe. But the truth is that with TNR, it actually works because it's backed by statistic and also by data, that has been done by countries that have practiced TNR, and we know that if we have, neuter 70% of a community dogs or cats, it actually brings the number down as time goes.
Yes.
Yeah. So the myth number 2 is that it says they believe that feeding the animals will make them propagate. So but the truth is, feeding without nurturing, yes, it will. It will. That's what will happen. But feeding with nurturing, then will bring the number down. Like I said, if 70% of the populations has been neutered, it will go down. The number will go down. So this is the truth. No matter what they say. Okay. Number 3 is that the myth. Okay, that removing the animals and is the best solution. As you know, we all want quick fix in our societies. Like we even go for like fast food and everything. But the truth is that by removing or but culling the animals, it actually bring in more unneutered animal from other areas, into the area. That's what we call it, the vacuum effect. Put it in human context, is that if you have a property, and you don't stay there, you just leave it vacant, and you don't lock it, what will happen? Of course, the homeless will take advantage of that. The junkies might come in and stay, or they may be vandalism, right?
True.
So with this vacuum effect, it would actually encourage the other animals, other unneutered animals, right? Dogs or cats. When I say animals, I mean dogs and cats.
Yes, absolutely.
Straight out cat. So they will migrate into this area, and it will actually encourage them to breed.
Yes.
And that's the truth. So with this myth and truth, so this is how we explain to them. Yeah.
That's so rightly said. The myth that you mentioned, especially the last one, because a lot of us humans, I even include myself, is we forget that these are territorial beings. So if you take them out of their territory, somebody else is going to come and sit there. It's not that it's going to be empty.
Yep.
So I know it's a very difficult task, even for us out here in India, trying to convince people that this is the way forward. We need to coexist.
Mm-hmm. May I ask, how is the progress in as far as TNR is concerned in India?
Okay, you've asked a very good question to me as well, and I'll be very honest. Like you said, you work with the feeders. In India, we have the same situation. Same situation in the sense, we feeders, across the country, because I've been talking to a lot of people across the country, and we have the same, all of us, we have the same situation is the number of dogs or cats what we take care of within the communities, or when you're talking about the streets. It is the feeder who has been taking care of, getting the TNR done.
Right.
Now, and all this expense is done from the feeder's own pocket.
Okay.
Now, because there are these NGOs who run, these sterilization surgeries. So yes, it's done at a discounted rate as compared to a private vet.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it is the feeders.
Okay, and how is the government involved heavily, or mainly just
Now, it's not a very difficult question that you put me in, but yes, we have the AWBI, which is the Ministry Animal Welfare Board of India. Then we have the SPAs also across the country, and then there are these. You call these the NGOs or the hospitals that are supposed to be run by the government. But this is a very brutal answer, and I'm always very open about it, vocal about it. The government is not involved. It is not the involvement that you would like to see. Because I have developed this term over the last 4 years, is this street. I don't even call them strays anymore. I call them, the street or the indies. They are not going to go to the poll and vote for the government.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are not a very important, sort of thing for the government. But yes, there is a lot of good people in terms of feeders across the country. And then there are these NGOs who work with the feeders, like what TNRM is doing. So it is people like us and a lot of other people that I know who have been doing this for years. As I said, I'm still an infant in this, what I'm trying to achieve. But yes, there are people who have been doing a lot, and they are not on social media. They don't try to show, make big fuss about it. They are doing their job very quietly.
Okay.
So yes, to answer your question, the government involvement is very less. It is people who know, as you rightly said, we need to neuter them, we need to trap them, we need to neuter them, and then we can bring their population down. So that's what we've been trying to achieve. But yes, in certain states, I know the government has been, those state government have been involved. But I believe personally, this is my personal opinion, I would say, there is still a lot of room for improvement.
Because I always feel that to be really effective for TNR program, the government really had to get involved, So because that's where all the resources are, because they can do it on a grand
Larger
scale.
scale, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we individuals or even NGOs, we're just trying our best. Of course, our resources are limited as well. And I always believe that the existence of NGOs means the incompetence of government in solving this problem.
Absolutely. You've just mentioned the right thing. It's the incompetence. But I think it is more than the incompetence. It is the will power that they don't have, because they don't see that as a sentient being as compared to humans. This is what I have. It's my personal opinion, I always say, because over the period of time that I've been talking to people and my interactions has led me to this belief that, because people in power, especially in the political situation, they don't see that these souls as sentient beings. So until and unless, the world doesn't come together and accept that these are sentient beings, they deserve the same amount and respect and dignity as a human being, because they are the creation of the God, and we all need to coexist sort of thing. It's not just they need to exist. It's I believe we humans, animals, and the environment, we all need to coexist. If we can't do that, I think
they're just part of the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Which is balanced at this moment. Of course, if you're trying to swipe out all the, let's say, the bees, something will happen to us. Something bad will happen.
Absolutely. It is already, if you see to what we've done to the nature, I mean, Mother Nature is already upset with us. So, and we can keep going and talking about it. I know there are a lot of people, the WHO, the UN, they keep talking about climate change and all these things. But I think all our leaders still lack the willingness to accept it and put their foot down and say, hey, this is something that we need to take it on a strong footing. So I think until and unless the people in power don't decide to do it, people like us, we will still continue to do what we do.
Right.